Thank you all very much for sending in questions through the Thursday Q&A. Remember, guys, I do questions every Tuesday and Thursday on this channel. Description box down below for how you can get all your questions answered. If you guys haven't already, go check out the video that I made yesterday, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Description box down below with that video in there as well. Let's get started with this one. Johnny Russo asked, wow, I'm not one of your favorite Q&A guys? Sorry, Johnny Russo, you're new here, buddy. Anyways, better WWE title reign, Miz or CM Punk's 434-day mid-card title run? Oh, that's a good question. Both of them ended up being nothing because I look at a title reign as how you won it, who you defended it against, and who ultimately beat you for it. Miz put over John Cena, CM Punk put over The Rock. Just based off length, I would have to say CM Punk. Sorry, Johnny Russo. I felt The Miz, he did good as a heel during his title reign, but dude was pacing like Jerry the King Lawler, so sorry, man. Laurel Lewis asked, are the Bella Twins overrated or underrated? I would say considered overrated to a sense because everyone thinks that they've super improved in the ring and they're one of the best women wrestlers in the world, but I wouldn't say that, but they're definitely more overrated than they are underrated, that's for sure. You know, I like both of the Bella Twins, but definitely more overrated, how people, like, overrate how good they become in the ring and stuff like that. Like, they become good, but not, like, super-duper great. They're nowhere near on the level where they could, like, wrestle circles around, like, Paige and AJ Lee, but they definitely have become better. But definitely overrated when it comes down to, like, people hyping up, like, how good they are in the ring and all that stuff. I hate that word, like, really overrated. Laura Willis, the better question would have been, are they overhyped or underhyped? Overhyped means something totally different than overrated. Overrated means, like, these guys absolutely suck and they're treated as they're good. Overhyped fits the Bella Twins more to a T than overrated. And would you like a triple threat match between Nikki, Naomi, and AJ Lee? Oh, yes, I think that would be a very, very good matchup with Nikki Bella winning. So, yes, I would like to see that matchup. James Borkham asked, would you rather see John Cena versus Undertaker at WrestleMania or Sting versus Undertaker at WrestleMania? If the streak was still intact, John Cena versus Undertaker would be the match to see, but with no streak, I would have to say Sting versus Undertaker, just for the nostalgia, just to see those two finally go at it, just for the dream match factor. So that would be the match I would want to see out of those two. Like I said, the streak was still intact. Oh, John Cena versus Undertaker, that would just be amazing. The Rapper Beats asks, great video, man. He just pretty much compliments me. Thanks, Rapper Beats. What would your reaction be if John Cena becomes a Paul Heyman guy at SummerSlam and retains the championship with the help of Paul Heyman? My reaction would be like, stupid, you're trying to make Brock Lesnar to a heel. I probably wouldn't care. Like, I would have that little fan inside of me say, oh, that's cool, but I wouldn't care. I'll just say, wow. So this is the route WWE's going. We're going to turn John Cena fucking heel and make Brock Lesnar the babyface. How stupid is that? And do you think it'd be a smart idea for Seth Rollins to cash in on Roman Reigns when he wins the championship? Not when he wins the championship, but definitely like probably 2 months in Roman Reigns' time as champion. That would definitely be a good time for Seth Rollins to cash in. So, yeah, but I don't think when he wins the championship because Roman Reigns will probably face like Lesnar or Cena, and it would kind of ruin the fucking moment for him to beat one of those big guys, and then here all of a sudden Seth Rollins comes out of nowhere and cashes in the briefcase on him. It'll just be kind of stupid and would ruin a great moment, in my personal opinion. So, I like Seth Rollins now, but just saying, man, like, we don't want to ruin Roman Reigns' moment like that. John Avenger asks, hey, Chase, I have a question for you. What would be your ideal main event for WrestleMania 31? John Cena versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Heavyweight Championship. That would be my ideal main event. Mr. TNA 2005 asks, as I saw in your last Q&A, your dog does not like wrestling and has the same feeling like many fans do when Cena comes on TV. He goes to sleep. How about NFL? Actually, that's a new dog we got. Her name's Diamond. It's a girl. She goes to sleep a lot. She actually likes wrestling. John Cena is not one of her favorites. She's more of a... Who does she really watch? She likes Rey Mysterio because on the network I'll sometimes watch Rey Mysterio matches just because I miss the old Rey Mysterio so fucking much, and just watching his old work just makes me so happy again. But she likes Rey Mysterio. That's one of her favorites. She actually likes The Miz too. When we were watching Raw one time, she was like intensely looking at The Miz. NFL, only like 2 of my dogs are really interested in it. That's my dog Shanae and my dog Biggie. Biggie has been in a couple videos. He's like that short little chubby red dog. The long red dog is Diamond, who was in my last Q&A. But Biggie's in a couple videos as well. But they like watching NFL. They like watching wrestling in NFL. My dogs don't get bored during wrestling. Actually, they're more excited with wrestling. By the way, Big E's favorite wrestler is Big E Langston. No surprise. Number 2, James Storm is the only TNA original left who is also at their first show. What is your opinion on him? I like James Storm. He was always one of my favorite characters in TNA. He's definitely a great TNA original, someone that belongs to be in the TNA Hall of Fame one day. You know, it's something about James Storm, he just always stayed with the company. I always said that he could make the transition to WWE, but he would just be a mid-carder at best. But he would definitely be someone that would force their hands and would have to put him in the main event scene because he's so damn entertaining. You know, Beer Money was a team that wasn't supposed to get over. Like, people forget, Beer Money was kind of like a forced team because they had nothing to do for Robert Roode at the time, and they had nothing to do for James Storm at the time. They forced Beer Money together, and Robert Roode and James Storm made that into one of the hottest acts in TNA history. It's such a shame, though, that James Storm, though, never got like a real legit run as a TNA World Champion. I hope that changes soon, because I wouldn't mind seeing James Storm become TNA World Heavyweight Champion, have a legit run for it. Even though, you know, most people don't view James Storm as a main eventer, you know, I still think he deserves a chance. Johnny Green asks, "Hi Chase, I'm a new subscriber and I watch all your videos up to date. Pretty awesome. I wanted this to be on your Thursday Q&A. My question is, do you think Taz O'Neil should be in the new Nation of Domination group since he's not doing anything and every time he comes out he gets booed out of the building?" Yeah, it would make sense for him to be in the Nation of Domination. Also, I don't think he's getting booed out of the building. It's called hoo 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 hoo. So that's what he's doing, but it's not getting booed out of the building. But he just doesn't get a reaction. But this would definitely help him out. So, yeah, he should be a part of it. And my second question is, which gimmick do you like more, Christian Instant Classic or the Close Your Eyes Christian in 2005? Oh, the Instant Classic for sure. Instant Classic Christian was amazing. That was a great gimmick for Christian, dude. He worked that well in TNA. The Instant Classic Christian, dude. Great heel for TNA. Him, Tyson, Tomko, and AJ. That was a fun little faction. I like that faction. So, yeah, definitely Instant Classic Christian. Close Your Eyes Christian. That Close Your Eyes Christian was just kind of like Christian. Close Your Eyes Christian was like 2002 Christian without complaining about Edge a lot. So that's what 2002. That's what Close Your Eyes Christian was. Shiro Horo asked, "What if Batista had lost to Triple H at WrestleMania 21?" Wow. Triple H buried another talent. Do you think the storylines of SmackDown versus Raw games are better than the real life storylines? I do. Yes, I do. I always say that the WWE, these are like scrapped plans. You know, that those Road to WrestleMania modes? You know, like when they had that, I'm like, these were probably scrapped plans for the Road to WrestleMania mode. Like, they actually had these plans in their head and thought these would be good ideas, and they're like, nah, let's just give them to the video game people. No, the video game people, and it's funny because, like, WWE, they like to bash the internet fans about, like, oh, they don't know anything about the wrestling business. They have no idea about it. But what do the video game people know? Because they write fucking good storylines. They do. They do write very good storylines for them, and it's just like they know nothing about the wrestling business unless you're a huge. I know Corey, whatever his name is, who works on the WWE games. He's a huge WWE fan, but they don't know anything. They're not always a part of the wrestling business. So I just find it funny when Triple H bash fans and says that like they don't know anything about the wrestling business yet. You know, the video game people, they write really good storylines. Maybe they should get some video game writers on there. Who knows? Maybe it'll become a better product. But yes, SmackDown vs. Raw storylines are pretty good. Lino Gino asks, Q&A, what storyline did you enjoy most from the SmackDown vs. Raw games? I'm trying to think. 2006, the SmackDown one. That one was my favorite. I was trying to debate if it was like 2007, but I hated how 2007 looped. But it's definitely 2006 from the SmackDown side of things, because I remember I chose Rey Mysterio because Rey Mysterio was one of my favorite wrestlers. You know, it was hard playing as Rey because, you know, trying to throw Undertaker in a casket was impossible and all that other stuff. And all of a sudden, I made Rey Mysterio into one of the biggest fucking heels of all time when he ran over Teddy Long. I was like, what? Why would Rey do that? Why would Rey run over? Like, I was so shocked when I found out I made Rey Mysterio run over Teddy Long. That was hilarious. So, definitely that one would be my favorite storyline, was the SmackDown one. SmackDown side of things of 2006. The Raw one was kind of lame, man. I remember the Raw one's really, really boring. Have you ever looked at the sample created wrestlers in WWE games? If so, any memorable ones? Oh, yeah. Go Here Comes the Pain. There's, like, I think custom 9, 10, and 11. 9 is, like, some weird, like SpongeBob SquarePants looking creature. 10 is, like, some big old, like, black sumo wrestler. Like, they're all funny. Like, Go Smackdown here because to play. Look at all those custom wrestlers. They are all funny. Smackdown versus Raw, I don't really have that many memorable ones, but it's definitely Smackdown Here Comes Pain or Shut Your Mouth. Those are the two you need to see for custom wrestlers because they create the most zaniest shit. They don't even look like wrestlers. They look like gimmicks. I actually used just one of those and I just edited a bit and used that as a gimmick because I said this works perfectly as a gimmick. So yes, go check out those. Is that okay? Thank you very much, Lino Gino, for the questions. Lodo Low asks Q&A: What if a celebrity ended Taker's WrestleMania streak instead of Lesnar, like David Arquette or Justin Bieber? How would have people reacted? I would have stopped watching wrestling, that's for sure. I would be fucking pissed if like Justin fucking Bieber, the guy who's saying baby, 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 ooh, was the one inside 21-1. So yeah, I would stop watching wrestling. I think most people would agree with me, and we would call this company stupid. I would never watch wrestling again. I would be done talking about it too. Uh, and if WWE had Taylor Swift perform at a big show like Mania or SummerSlam, how much of a draw would she be? She wouldn't be a draw because Taylor Swift has no connection with anything that the WWE is. I mean, yes, WWE's PG now, but Taylor Swift's singing career is no longer PG. Like, she's become so different than what she was originally started. So, yeah, it wouldn't be good at all. I don't think she would draw in any interest from fans, in my personal opinion. Final Limits asks, what did you think of Cena's rapper return for one night only in 2012 against The Rock? Oh, it was good. The rap wasn't really his best rap that he used to. You could tell he was trying to force some shit. But it was good. It was nice to hear the Basic Thugonomics theme again. That's what I thought about it. And you think Tamina Snuka looks like a tranny? Nope. Because I've seen Tamina Snuka in person, Final Ups, and let me tell you, she is hot in person, man. Tamina Snuka is beautiful. So no, she does not look like a tranny to me. Bubblegum Flavor Steroids asks, what Triple H team do you prefer? His 2000 theme My Time or the one he has now? Oh, because I like both of them. My Time, though, for sure. My Time was just so epic on so many proportions, man. Because it fit like, what he was apart with the DX. It had the same type of feel of the DX theme. And it was just such a great heel theme. It was just like, oh, I loved My Time. It just showed that like Triple H just didn't give a shit about anyone. The game is always good, but I've heard it so many times. I would just mark out if he came out to My Time. Or what I would mark out with is, what they're doing with Seth Rollins right now? They gave Seth Rollins My Time. How sick would that be? Instead of like, you get rid of the intro, like, give me some of that Triple H, and you just give it to Seth Rollins. It's like, my time is coming. So, I would love that in my personal opinion. Which wrestlers in video games and real life has the best entrance? Ooh, video games. Video games really, not a lot of wrestlers have good entrances in video games because they really strip down the wrestlers. Like I would always like Eddie's entrance. I would always make my created wrestler have Eddie's entrance just because he would come out in the car and I thought that was cool. Or the Here Comes the Pain where you're in the shopping cart and you would fall down. Undertaker has probably the best entrance in real life for sure, especially if you've ever seen it live. It's really, really sick. Who else has a really good entrance? Sting, where he would fall down. Goldberg, when they would come to him and security would come and knock on his Sting. It's hard really for video games, but like in real life, there's a lot of them, like Goldberg, Sting, and Undertaker. Eddie's entrance in the video game is pretty cool, but not that many good entrances in video games when it comes to wrestling, because they always strip them down a little bit. Reginald D. Help asks, Q&A, do you think WWE games get worse and worse every year? I could not answer that really because the last game I played was WWE 12 and I just wasn't interested in the Attitude Era mode because there was no story mode in it and I just wasn't interested in 30 years of WrestleMania mode. For 2K games to sell me on a game, make a career mode. That's all I ask for. I ask for a career mode that I can play multiple times, just like my career in NBA 2K and MLB 2K. So yeah, I haven't played the last two, but I heard 2K14 wasn't that bad. What did you think of the Boogeyman? I love the Boogeyman. He was a great character. It's such a shame that they never really found like a good brand for him to be on, and it's such a shame that they try to make him into a star too fast because Boogeyman was basically like guys like JBL and King Booker, man, like way too fast, dude. They should have slowed down with his dumb ass, but it's the WWE. They like to do stupid things. Randy Busatai asks, where do you see Rusev and Lana a year from now? I would say tag teaming with Santino, but I don't think so. Definitely not as hot as they are now. I could actually see Lana start entering, the women's title scene. Like, she'll actually start wrestling, a little bit more, because how long can Paige be a heel for your company? Is Nikki Bella really going to be a long-term heel for your company? Because there's the rumors that she's going to turn heel. Lana, I just think would be the perfect heel for your Divas division. She's one of the few divas that could actually fucking talk. First off, and her theme music just sounds so fucking epic that it's one of those themes when she wins and you just see her celebrate the title, you're just pissed off. So I think she'll be entering as a wrestler. Rusev, who knows? Droppersville, USA with Zack Ryder. Where do you see the Wyatt family splitting up, and who will be the most successful and least successful of the group? When the Wyatt family will split up, probably next summer. That's when I see them splitting up. Who will be the most successful? That's actually more of an interesting question. The usual answer is Bray Wyatt, but I could see Luke Harper having a more successful career with Bray Wyatt, especially if WWE does not know what to do with this Bray Wyatt character down the line. And the least successful, Eric Rowan. Little Fish asks Q&A. What if Brock Lesnar gets squashed in 2 minutes by Cena at SummerSlam? Brock attacks Cena before the bell. Even Reigns beats the fuck out of him like he did to the Big Show at Royal Rumble. Then ref rings the bell. Cena kicks out of it, hits the AA. How will the fans react? Go on Twitter and be pissed off? I won't react to it at all. If you saw my latest video, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, I've said that I hope Cena does win at, SummerSlam. And I explained why in the video down below. But fans will definitely be pissed off. And it also would be a slap in the face because here's this big money match that you're trying to build and you end it like that. Like, that's really the big match. That it's just like this 2-minute squash fest. Like, that would just be so insulting to the fans. And why does WWE bury the wrestlers the IWC like? I don't know. Maybe it's also the wrestlers in the IWC not getting themselves over. Like, Dolph Ziggler's attitude is not the greatest attitude in the world, guys. You know that, right? He's like a dick to everyone. He really is. I mean, I know you guys like him, but he's an asshole. Like, you can't go on radio shows and just be bashing John Cena every 5 minutes. And I know everyone's like, oh, well, he's just playing character. No, because in radio shows, he's really meaning what he's saying. That he's actually better than John Cena. He really means you can't be bashing, the top guys. If you want your voice to be heard, you go to Triple H and Vince and you tell them to your face. You don't freaking go to the other guys. So, really, to be honest, I think they buried the IWC guys because really they're not really what they're looking for. And honestly, I don't think they're burying Seth Rollins or Dean Ambrose right now. I mean, those are IWC guys. But yeah, I just feel like it's more of the attitudes. And also Cesaro, he's not really a guy that would complain about anything backstage. I mean, he's not really a complainer. He's someone that goes out there and does his job. Cesaro's like a professional most of the time. So, yeah. Brony Loney asks, do you think Punk deserves to be sued by WWE for a breach of contract? That's a really interesting question. I would say no, because I just don't see how you could really sue a guy for that. But I don't know the details on his contract. I don't know how big it was. And also, you forget, maybe WWE was actually paying him full, with that. Like, if WWE was paying him throughout the time that he was at home, like, he was getting all his merch perks, he was still getting paid, the full downside of his contract, yes, WWE is allowed to sue him. They should sue him. But if Punk was getting paid jack shit all, did not see any paycheck from the WWE since leaving the company, then no, the WWE shouldn't sue him whatsoever. But if he was stealing their money and he was getting the full downside, and I know people don't understand contracts that much, but there's a thing called downside. And downside means seeing all the money in your contract. You get all the money in your contract. Because sometimes when you sign a contract, guys, and this goes to NBA players, NFL players, and all that other stuff, when you see an NFL player sign a contract, it's like, 190 million, 60 million of that is guaranteed. That means that player is only going to see 60 million of that contract for sure, but they might not see the full downside of that 120 million. So, if CM Punk was making his full downside of his contract, he made the guaranteed money that they promised him in the contract. They probably guaranteed, some sort of money to him, and then later on he made the full downside of it during the time. Then yeah, the WWE should sue him. But if he wasn't making jack shit all, no, the WWE doesn't sue him. And is the Lex Man a smart? Not really. He's not smart. I just think he's a fan. I don't really like using the term smart all that much. I used to back in the day, but I don't think he's a smart. All of us on the internet are smart, so why not? John Kunk asks, what do you think of the 24/7 mode in SmackDown vs. Raw 2008? I hated that mode, dude. That mode was so annoying. Why can't I get a title shot? Oh, I got to go sign some more autographs? Okay. Oh, to get some popularity, I'm going to go be a movie star. Oh, man. I got injured on set, so I can't wrestle for 6. It was dumb. I hated 24/7 mode in WrestleMania and SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. And also, you couldn't play as any of the ECW guys. Like, you could you get guys like CM Punk, Bobby Lashley, Marcus Corbin in the game, Elijah Burke, guys that were that people wanted to play as, and we couldn't play as these guys. It sucked. And do you think Riley from the Girl Meets World looks Asian? If she does, why was she chosen to play Corey and Topanga's daughter since they're white and she's part Asian looking? She doesn't look Asian. I just think she probably has like pudgy cheeks. And yeah, that's all I can really say about it. I don't think she looks Asian whatsoever. I think she just has pudgy little cheeks. And she kind of has like, similarities to Corey and Topanga. I think she was just a better actress out of anyone that else that tried, because she kind of has the quirkiness that Topanga had when she was younger, and same with Corey. And, she kind of dresses like how Topanga used to dress. Topanga used to wear like the very, very like outlandish clothing, and she kind of wears like the modern age clothes that I think Topanga would wear. So yeah, I think she does her role very well. Jack Trice asks Q&A: what would you do if your computer, TV, and video game consoles, including handhelds, got messed up in the same day? It would suck. I would be kind of pissed off. Probably just play on my phone. Have you ever gone a day or days without internet due to non-payment or router trouble? Yeah, router trouble mostly. I remember when I first moved into this house, I didn't have internet for 3 days. It wasn't that bad. It really wasn't, but it did kind of suck because I was kind of behind on the times of what was going on like, the news of sports and stuff like that. So it kind of sucked a little bit. And Watermelon 525 asks, how often do you take a shit? Once every day. And how often do you eat? And he says, ma N-word. I'm white. I can't really say that word. But I eat every 3 meals a day, buddy. That's how often do I eat. Nintendo Fanboy 1998 asks, Q&A, what did you think of Lashley saying that WWE is ripping TNA up by having the 3 black guys as a stable? It's a fair thing to say, because, they are kind of ripping it off. Here's the big guy. Okay, that's Bobby Lashley. Big E is Bobby Lashley. Here's the very talented, maybe could be your main event guy. Okay, that's Kofi Kingston with MVP. Here's the guy that's going to talk a lot for you guys and is very talented in the ring. Okay, that's Xavier Woods and Kenny King. It's fair for him to say it. It's his opinion. He has the right to say it. They are kind of ripping it off because they see that WWE sees it for TNA being kind of successful. They know fans kind of like it a little bit. And also, I think WWE is doing this because they realize how big that Atlanta Publications was. Did you notice that Atlanta Publications that the Atlantic made a long time ago? That little writing, they saw that and they said, yeah, maybe we should try something different. So I think WWE is trying to fight their little racist claims, even though we know that company can be racist. Would you like to see a 6-man tag with Kenny King, Lashley, and MVP versus Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods? Yes, and that should be a main event for pay-per-view, because that would show that there's no racism in wrestling. It would be awesome. It would finally be like, oh, look at these 6 black men go at it in a huge war. Be awesome. Maybe that'll stop some racism. Maybe the WWE and TNA will be like, you know what? Black people can main event. And maybe Kofi Kingston will get a WWE title shot. It'd be fucking awesome. And then, of course, I would want MLK to win. If you don't know who MLK is, then I'm going to explain it. But MLK for the win. Dave Lester asked, what did you think of when Brock broke Hardcore Holly's neck? That was nasty, man. I did not like it. I hated when Hardcore Holly was feuding with Brock for the WWE Championship. They kept on showing that. I was like, oh, God. And what did you think of when Hardcore Holly on Tough Enough 2 beat the shit out of the Matt Capitelli? Was he right or wrong? I don't even remember that, dude. I didn't watch Tough Enough. I didn't care about Tough Enough. I know that sounds rude to say, but I just didn't really like MTV shows. If you weren't Bam's Margera show, then I didn't really care. Viva La Bam. If you weren't Viva La Bam, I didn't care what was on MTV. So I didn't watch Tough Enough 2. So maybe I'll check that clip out of that later. But Hardcore Holly, if he wants to beat someone up, he can. He's from Alabama, so I'm cool with whatever Hardcore Holly wants to do. Justin Slide asks, what did you think of when Jeff Hardy turned heel at Bound for Glory 2010? Jeff Hardy turning heel was a good move. I thought it was a nice, risky move by TNA. They just didn't execute it well. And the Jeff Hardy as a heel, was it good or bad? It would have been good if he was just a solo act, but it was bad because he was surrounded by Immortal. So yeah, if he was a solo act, I think he would have done a lot better. Cabello85 asks, if Steen does wrestle for WWE, but Undertaker's status is up in the air, who do you think is a good choice for him as an opponent? John Cena. because Sting and John Cena are very comparable. 90s Sting is like 2000, PG era John Cena. So I think that would be a good matchup, and it would be an interesting matchup for sure. And both guys, their styles in the ring would clash very well. Who in the WWE had the worst reign of terror, John Cena or Triple H? Triple H, because Triple H was burying so many potential guys. Like John Cena's reign of terror, it wasn't that bad. Okay, it wasn't that bad from 2006 to 2007 because it wasn't like John Cena was burying like future stars. Like he was burying guys like the Great Khali. Like, oh my god, like the worst star he buried during that reign of terror would be either Umaga or Lashley. Triple H buried guys from being big impact players for the WWE at that time. So it's definitely Triple H's reign of terror. Joe Juicy asks, why wasn't Owen Hart been in any WWE games in over the past 10 years? Owen Hart is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I'm still playing games like WWE Warzone, WWE Attitude, and featured Owen Hart, and I'm still creating Owen Hart in Creative Wrestler mode in newer WWE games. It's up to Owen Hart's wife. In all honesty, it's more like if Owen Hart's wife wants him to be in the video game because she has the rights to everything that is Owen Hart. So yeah, it's just because Owen Hart's wife is not putting him into the games. Joe Juicy also asks, what are your thoughts of wrestling games of all time and your least favorite wrestling game of all time and why? Favorite wrestling game of all time, Here Comes the Pain. I just love the story mode. I just like how you can, create a wrestler in that game. You get all the stats. You can win as many titles as you want. You go on and you pretty much win the world title at WrestleMania, and then you do the year all over again. Like, you can play that game for 2, maybe 3 years and do different, like 2 to 3 seasons in that game. Gives you different opportunities for you. It's really, really fun. I truly do enjoy Here Comes the Pain. My least favorite, probably Day of Reckoning 2, because the story mode for Day of Reckoning 2 was so disappointing compared to Day of Reckoning 1. And I always liked Day of Reckoning 2's gameplay, but it was just the story mode sucked. Jake Leomas asks, what did you think of the new Nation faction, and do you think WWE will go all the way with it? I like it that they're doing a new Nation faction. Will the WWE go all the way with it? No. I hope they do, but the WWE is stupid sometimes, and they don't like to go all the way with great ideas. The Gochi Man asks, what did you think of the 90s TV show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Fucking hilarious. I love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Dude, everyone knows like the Fresh Prince theme song. This is a story about how, like, god damn, I love Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Carlton's hilarious. I gotta rewatch Fresh Prince for sure. It's been a while since I've seen that show, so I might have to go rewatch it. Do a little bit of Netflix. What do people call it? What's that term? Where people are just sitting around watching the TV show for days. I can't remember what it's called, but I gotta do a little bit of that. The Gochi Man also asks, who do you think has the potential to shine the most out of the new Nation and faction? Do you think the WWE is adding more black wrestlers? Xavier Woods was shining the most from this because he will be talking more, and I really do like Consequences Creed, so I hope he does very, very well. As for more black wrestlers, yeah, add a Mark Henry, who was a part of the original one, and maybe you can add a Tyus O'Neil, or maybe you can add an R-Truth. It's up to the WWE, but I think 5 guys would work well with the Nation. Red Wolf 316 also asks, what did you think of Golden Sun the game? I like Golden Sun. It's fun. Golden Sun, the New Age, or I forgot the second one, the Lost World, I think it's called. I didn't like that one, but the first Golden Sun I liked really, really a lot. It's a fun RPG. If you guys haven't played it, go play it. Golden Sun's a shit. Why is and Golden Sun Red Wolf 316 asks, why is that dumb bitch Martha Hart still not over the loss of the husband Owen Hart? Understand she must have taken his loss really, really hard because of the tragic events happened at Over the Edge 1999, but it's been 15 years and she's still not over it. I want to see Owen Hart inducted into the Hall of Fame one day, but it's not going to happen unless she allows it. She just feels the WWE has not apologized enough. That's the only reason why, because Martha Hart does not believe the WWE has done a good job apologizing to her for what happened to her husband. That's the only reason why he will never be in the Hall of Fame until WWE meets Martha Hart's demands. You know what? Bam. And also, I think she just hates fans in general because fans always ask her about that too. They always ask her about that. Like, I remember there was like this Death Grip documentary, like the Ugly Truths of Pro Wrestling, and she says like, I can't walk a day without people reminding me. Every single day, people remind me. I wanted to take away my kids and my life all at once, and it was very dark. So, I just think that she just doesn't want to be mentioned of anything in the professional wrestling business. She just doesn't like professional wrestling at all. Jake Loomis asks, what do you think of Team Canada from TNA? I love Team Canada from TNA, dude. That was a great faction. Minus A1 Steak Sauce, they had a great group of guys in that one. You had Maple Leaf Muscle P.D. Williams, otherwise known as Canadian Destroyer at the time. You had Eric Young, Showtime. You had Bobby Roode. I mean, it was a really, really good faction. I really did like Team Canada, minus A16 and Scott D'Amore was a pimp. Fucking loves Coach Scott D'Amore. Greg Toomer asked, I know this will never happen, but what would your reaction be if WWE for some reason inducted Chris Benoit to the Hall of Fame of 2015? I'd be kind of like confused. I would just be like, why are you inducting a murderer into the Hall of Fame? Like, really? This is your publicity stunt you're trying to go with? I would kind of be almost applauding Vince because it shows Vince has more balls than I thought. But at the same time, I would just be confused, and I probably wouldn't even watch the Hall of Fame. Good mic work asks, and this is not the real good mic work for anyone who knows, would you mark out if John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H, Sheamus, and Batista formed a faction called themselves the Breakfast Club? Yes! That would be the greatest moment in WWE TV. I would love that. I would fucking love that. If, John Cena, Batista, Sheamus, Triple H, and Randy Orton all came out, kind of like the Nexus, destroyed the ring, and then they fucking pose. Next week on Raw, Triple H calls themselves the Breakfast Club. It'd be fucking amazing. I would love that. That would be the most amazing moment in WWE history. So Suk Azen asks, do you think WWE will go all the way with Roman Reigns push, or do you think they will just yank the ball from under him like Ryback? They'll go all the way. They seem to like Roman Reigns. He fits a Samoan. He has the Rock's blessing, so they'll go all the way with him. It'll be a little bit later for them to go all the way, but they will go all the way with him. And Reed19 will finish off this long Q&A asking, who are some favorite bands / musicians? My favorite bands / musicians, Shinedown comes to mind. I like Seether, some of their earlier stuff. Kanye is always one of my favorite musicians for sure. I like Kanye and Jay-Z when they do stuff together. Eminem. So yeah, those would be my favorite bands and musicians. And if you were a wrestler, and you had to bury someone from the roster, who would you bury? Eric Rowan. I'd demand that I bury Eric Rowan, and I'll send him to fucking NXT and then fucking get him fired. And he'd be my bitch. I hate Eric Rowan. I just think he's garbage. So I'll just bury him, and I'll bury him hard. I would make sure I would kick out of all his moves. I would no-sell some of his shit so bad. I would just be the biggest dick to Eric Rowan because fuck him, he sucks. Anyways, guys, that's it for this Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. I'll be back Tuesday with another Q&A. The Q&As might change a bit, like the days. It might move to Wednesday and Friday due to my school schedule being predominantly on Tuesday and Thursdays. So I won't have enough time to, really do them. But we'll have to wait and see. So I'll see you all next time. Friday, I got my NXT and Impact Wrestling reviews. So make sure you guys come back on Friday to watch some NXT and Impact Wrestling thoughts. I'll see you all then. Peace!